Here's my audience. Okay, I want you to imagine that you're pregnant, or your wife is pregnant, and you've been really excited about this baby, and lots of fun memories already. And one evening you are sitting there singing to your unborn child, and all of a sudden a van drives up, and instantly you're filled with terror. You're trying to think, where can I hide her? Where can she run? But there's nowhere to run. And 6 or 7 men come out of this van. They grab your wife by her hair and they drag her out, kicking and screaming, and you wonder if you're ever going to see her again or your unborn child. That's just one of the scenarios that happens in China every single day. My name is Megan, and I'm here to talk to you about the one-child policy in China. I've done extensive research on this policy with articles and sites like the LA Times, the Society for Protection of Unborn Children, All Girls Allowed organization, the Adoption Guide, and China's Customs, and some others. The one-child policy is inhumane and must be stopped by those who have influence on China. God values human life, and as a Christian nation, we can't just sit back and just turn our eyes and pretend that it's not even happening. So I'm going to talk to you about some solutions with that, and then also the Chinese government, some things that they can be doing themselves to possibly remedy this solution. The one-child policy results in physical, emotional, and trauma, and of course death. The enforcers are brutally beating women that are pregnant and taking them for forced abortions no matter what the gestational age. These mandatory abortions are called remedial measures in their Chinese policy there. China is the only country where women commit suicide more often than men. Over 500 women are committing suicide every single day in China. This policy also results in abandonment, infanticide, forced late-term abortions, and often women are sterilized without their consent. The population in China was so large that the government put this policy in action. The Chinese Vice Premier Chen Mua in 1979 was quoted saying this: "A policy of encouragement and punishment for maternity, with encouragement as the main feature, will be implemented. Parents having one child will be encouraged, and strict measures will be enforced to control the birth of 2 or more babies. Everything should be done to ensure that natural population growth rate in China falls below 0 by the year 2000. Because of this policy, families live in terror anytime there's an unplanned pregnancy in their family. Something that should be exciting becomes a burden to the family. So God values human life, and we as Christians, we already know from the things that I've talked about that this violates the 6th commandment of the 10 commandments, which is thou shalt not murder. Proverbs 6:17 says that there are 6 things that the Lord hates and 7 that are detestable to him. And one of those is hands that shed innocent blood. Now you might not think that abortion is murder or shedding of innocent blood, but there's a heartbeat at 5.5 weeks. And what is the thing that when we take an elderly person or any person to the hospital, the doctor first checks for their heartbeat, if they're unconscious or anything. And that's how they tell if they're alive. Yet we can look at an unborn child and think they're not living. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." The United States of America has influence on China. And I have a handout here that talks about China being the #1 trade partner with America. And that's according to the PRC, General Admin of Customs through China. The U.S. has influence on China. So, if the U.S. instituted an economic sanctions against China, we could possibly persuade them to begin to really respect their citizens and their individual rights, including mothers and unborn children. So what can the Chinese government do? They can encourage adoption and not abortion. They can lower the cost to adopt children. Right now, it costs anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 to adopt a child from China. Yet, they're willing to kill children on a daily basis for free. So why the red tape for the Chinese government? Why is it so hard for us to adopt a child from China, yet they're not willing to let them go full-term gestationally? In 2009, America adopted more children from China than any other country. One other thing that we can be doing is donating to programs that can help in this situation. If you're not able to adopt a child, or it's not something that God has for you, then there's programs called All Girls Allowed, which helps women and families in China by giving them financial stipends for those who choose to keep a daughter. So the one-child policy is wrong. Children are a gift from God, and who are we to say that one shouldn't be able to have life and the other should? People are dying in the hands of their government, and we're turning our eyes and just ignoring it and acting like it's not our problem. The one-child policy is humane, like I said before, and it must be stopped by those who have influence. And we, America, along with other global economic powers, have that influence. Women and infants are being murdered in China by their own government to help control their population. We would never let this happen in America. So why are we letting it happen there? We can go and help people in Iraq and Afghanistan and other nations to have freedom, but why aren't we doing it in China? What message are we sending them? Thank you. Did I go over 6 minutes?
Oh, way over.
Oh, was that the timer?
Yeah.
Was 6 minutes?
Chinese